Election Commission hands out symbols. Election campaign officially begins tomorrow. This election must set a gold standard for the future, Chief Advisor says at a high-level meeting. Ninth National Pay Commission submits reports to Chief Advisor. Minimum salary 20,000 and maximum 1,60,000 taka proposed. Expatriate voters urged to cast ballots and send it to nearest post office by January 25. Hotel Gari Super Caravan launched in Faridpur. Information and Broadcasting Advisor calls to vote yes in referendum. BNP to begin campaign from Sylhet tomorrow. Jamaat pledges support for free and fair polls. E-bail bond system rolled out in 8 districts. More to follow soon, says law advisor. President Trump doubles down on Greenland takeover. No turning back. And T20 World Cup schedule unchanged. Bangladesh have to play in India. ICC board meeting decides. Assalamu alaikum viewers, I'm Tanzila Manar Sultana welcoming you all to News at 10. You have just heard the headlines. Now moving on to news in details. The symbols have been officially allotted to the party and independent candidates for the 13th National Parliamentary election. Candidates will be able to officially begin their election campaigns from tomorrow Thursday, which will continue until 48 hours before voting. From the morning, the returning officers began allotting symbols to candidates for 298 constituencies across 64 districts of the country. In Dhaka as well, symbols were allotted for 20 constituencies through the offices of 3 returning officers. However, before distributing the symbols, candidates and their representatives were given detailed instructions on adhering to the Code of Conduct. During this time, candidates expressed concerns about their personal security and demanded equal opportunities for all. The use of posters has been prohibited in this election campaign. Additionally, the Election Commission has stipulated that violating the Code of Conduct could result in a fine of 1,50,000 taka and cancellation of candidacy. A high-level meeting was held to review the overall preparations for the coming national election with a particular focus on both administrative and security-related arrangements. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus chaired the meeting at his office in Dhaka today. Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant General Retired Muhammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhary, Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Advisor Fazul Kabir Khan, Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor on Defence and National Solidarity Development Lieutenant General Retired Abdul Hafiz, National Security Advisor Dr. Khalilur Rahman, Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor for Post, Telecommunications and Information Technology Faiz Ahmed Toyib, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Sheikh Abdul Rashid, Chief of Army Staff General Wakar Zaman, Chief of Naval Staff Admiral M. Nazrul Hassan, Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal Hassan Mahmood Khan, Chief Advisors Principal Secretary M. Sirajuddin Mia, Home Affairs Secretary Nasimul Goni, ISIS Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed, Inspector General of Police Baharul Alam and Chiefs of Border Guard Bangladesh, Bangladesh Ansar and VDP, Coast Guard and Rapid Action Battalion and representatives from different intelligence agencies were present at the meeting. At the meeting, Chief Advisor stressed on holding the forthcoming general elections slated for February 12 in a manner that it can set a standard for polls in the country in future. He said that utmost attention must be paid so that there is no shortage of anything on election day, adding that there must be no lapses anywhere on February 12. The chief advisor stressed that there must be no lack of coordination among the forces while performing their duties. Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Advisor Fazul Kabir Khan informed the meeting that his ministry is working to ensure uninterrupted electricity supply on election day across the country. Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor for Post, Telecommunications and Information Technology Faiz Ahmed Toyub said his ministry is working to ensure uninterrupted mobile network and internet services at all polling centers on the election day. Chief of Army Staff General Wakar-e-Zaman informed the meeting that during the mass uprising in August 2024, a total of 3,619 weapons were looted from police stations across the country. Of this, 2,259 weapons have been recovered so far, which is 62.4% of the looted weapons, he said. Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant General retired Muhammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhary said that members of the armed forces will be considered law enforcement personnel during the election and therefore, if necessary, they will be able to enter the premises of polling centers. Home Affairs Secretary Nasimul Goni said that body-worn cameras will reach the local level within the next 5 days, adding members of police and other forces will use drones where necessary. Later, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam briefed the media about the meeting at the Foreign Service Academy this afternoon.
300 আসনে ইলেকশন হবে। সচিব জানিয়েছেন যে পোস্টাল ব্যালটের ছাপা আজকে মিডনাইট থেকে শুরু হবে, কালকে সকালে থেকে এটা পূর্ণ দমে শুরু হবে এবং এটা ওরা ডিসাইড করবেন কখন পাঠাবেন, এটা আপনাদেরকে পরবর্তীতে জানিয়ে দেওয়া হবে। আর আজকে জানানো হয় যে আর্মির তরফ থেকে মোট এই প্রথমবারের মতো 1 লক্ষ সেনাবাহিনীর মেম্বার থাকবেন। বাংলাদেশ নৌবাহিনীর 5000-এর উপরে থাকবেন, বাংলাদেশ বিমান বাহিনীর 3730 জনের উপরে থাকবেন, আর বাংলাদেশ পুলিশের থাকবেন প্রায় 1.5 লক্ষ, বাংলাদেশ আনসার গ্রাম প্রতিরক্ষা বাহিনীর 5,76,000, আর বর্ডার গার্ডের থাকবেন প্রায় 38,000, বাংলাদেশ কোস্ট গার্ডের 3,500 উপরে, র্যাবের থাকবেন প্রায় 8,000 এবং ফায়ার সার্ভিস সিভিল ডিফেন্স অধিদপ্তরে থাকবেন আরো 13,390 জন। চিফ অ্যাডভাইজার উনি বলেছেন যে এই ইলেকশনটা যাতে নিখুঁতভাবে হয় এবং এটা যাতে আমরা গর্বের সাথে বলতে পারি যে খুব ভালো একটা ইলেকশন হয়েছে, আর এটার উনি এই যা কর্মযোগ্য হচ্ছে সবকিছুর ক্ষেত্রে আরো ভালোভাবে এইটাকে আরো কত বেটার করা যায় সে বিষয়ে উনি জোর দিয়েছেন। বলেছেন যে ইলেকশন কমিশনকে এই ইলেকশনের বিষয়ে যত ধরনের সহযোগিতা লাগে এটা গভর্নমেন্ট থেকে পুরোপুরি সহযোগিতা দেওয়া হবে। অ্যাডভাইজার আরেকটা কথা বলেছেন যে ইলেকশনের সময় যাতে আনইন্টারাপ্টেড পাওয়ার সাপ্লাই থাকে এই বিষয়ে উনি জোর দিয়েছেন এবং এনার্জি অ্যাডভাইজার বলেছেন যে উনি এই বিষয়ে সর্বোচ্চ এফোর্ট দিবেন এবং এটা ইনশিওর করা।
The 9th National Pay Commission submitted its report to Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. The 23-member commission led by its chairman Zakir Ahmed Khan presented the report 3 weeks ahead of its deadline. Finance Advisor Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed, Chief Advisor's Special Assistant Dr. Anisuzzaman Chaudhary, Finance Secretary Dr. Muhammad Khairuzaman Mujumdar and all full-time and part-time members of the commission were present. The commission recommended a 20-grade pay structure for government employees. It proposed increasing the minimum pay grade from 8,250 to 20,000 taka and the maximum pay grade from 78,000 to 60,000 taka. The Commission chief said that 1,06,000 crore taka will be required to implement the proposals. The new proposals of the Commission included the introduction of health insurance for government employees, reform of the pension system, rearranging the Government Employees Welfare Board, formation of a service commission, rational restructuring of pay grades and scales, formation of a committee to review allowances in government offices, and human resource development in the health and education sectors. If an employee has a differently abled child, the Pay Commission recommends a monthly allowance of 2,000 taka. However, in all cases, a maximum of two children will receive this benefit. The report further stated that while the current provisions of tiffin allowance continue, the Commission has recommended an increase in the rate of allowance. The current monthly tiffin allowance for employees in grades 11 to 20 may be increased to 1,000 taka from 200 taka. After receiving the report, the chief advisor expressed satisfaction and thanked the members of the Commission. On the occasion, he said, "This is a very big task. People have been waiting for it for a long time." Speaking on the occasion, the Commission chief said that over the past decade, there have been significant changes in almost all economic indicators at both global and national levels. In particular, the prices of essential commodities have increased manifold, he said, adding, due to the absence of a timely and appropriate pay structure, meeting the cost of living has gradually become difficult for government employees. On the occasion, Finance Advisor Dr. Salahuddin Ahmed said that implementation of the proposals is now the next task. For this purpose, a committee will be formed to work on the implementation process, he added. A 5-member delegation led by senior Naib-e-Amir Maulana Yusuf Ashraf of Bangladesh Khilafat Majlis called on Chief Election Commissioner CEC A.M.M. Nasiruddin. The meeting took place today at the CEC's office in the Election Commission building in Agargaon, Dhaka. The delegation also included Bangladesh Khilafat Majlis's Joint Secretary Maulana Tufazil Hussain Miyaji, Organizational Secretary Maulana Azizur Rahman Hilal, Maulana Muhammad Faisal, and Election Management Committee Member Secretary Maulana Hassan Zunaid. After the meeting, Maulana Yusuf Ashraf briefed reporters stating that in the last 3 elections, the people of the country were deprived of their right to vote. He said the delegation urged the CEC to ensure that citizens can vote this time in a peaceful environment. He also mentioned that the delegation requested the installation of CCTV cameras at every polling center and adequate arrangements for drones. The CEC assured them that these matters would be taken seriously. Expatriate voters registered through the Postal Vote BD app will be able to cast their ballots for the upcoming 13th Jatiyo Shangshad elections and referendum from 5 p.m. tomorrow. The Election Commission has instructed voters to follow the prescribed procedure available on its website or app to select their candidate and symbol in the respective constituency. According to the EC schedule, expatriates must send their completed postal ballots to the office of the returning officer of their constituency in Bangladesh by January 25. In a message issued today, the EC informed registered expatriate voters that they may exercise their franchise from January 21 by following the designated process on the mobile app. Voters are required to send back deposit the yellow envelope containing their ballot at the nearest post office or mailbox by January 25. Another EC message assured that the Postal Vote BD app has adequate security measures in place, ensuring that no voter's ballot can be cast by another person and the secrecy of the vote remains protected. According to EC data, a total of 15,33,683 voters from home and abroad have registered through the Postal Vote BD app to participate in the 13th general election and referendum. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Sayyida Rizwana Hassan urges to cast yes vote in the referendum, saying that only changing people would not bring benefits if the system is not changed. She made the appeal this morning in Faridpur at an event organized by district administration for the launch of the voting caravan and the voting rickshaw marking the upcoming parliamentary election and referendum. Speaking on the occasion, the advisor said that voting is not only right but a responsibility too. Rule of law will be established in the country if people cast yes in referendum, and the arrogance of power will also be reduced. The country's key will really come to the hands of the people. In presence of SDG Affairs Chief Coordinator of Chief Advisor's Office, Lamia Morshed, Information Secretary Mahabuba Farzana, and Deputy Commissioner of Faridpur Muhammad Kamrul Hassan Mullah, a colourful rally paraded through the town and ended at Ambika Maidan. The information advisor spoke at a view exchange meeting organized by district administration at Ambika Maidan in favor of campaign and encouragement for referendum. At this view exchange meeting, she mentioned that the whole nation, voter and the political parties are ready for the February 12 election. The advisor has called for casting yes vote to build a new Bangladesh. She also said that if yes vote wins in the referendum, deputy speaker will be appointed from opposition. Besides, the advisor added, leadership of important committee and accountability will also be ensured. Officials concerned, including Chief Coordinator on SDG Affairs of Chief Advisor's Office Lamia Morshed and Information and Broadcasting Secretary Mahabuba Farzana, spoke on the occasion. Meanwhile, Information and Broadcasting Ministry organized a courtyard meeting at Bhajondanga Shibir More Bazaar under Faridpur municipality this afternoon on the occasion of referendum and national election. Presided over by Additional Deputy Commissioner Muhammad Sohrab Hussain, Information and Broadcasting Advisor Syed Rizwan Hassan spoke at the program as chief guest. High officials of the ministry and a large number of women voters were present. Later, campaign for referendum and national election was held for the first time. Voters at Rajendra Government College. The information advisor addressed the youths as chief guest. The advisor has called for casting yes vote in the referendum so that fascism cannot come back. She made the call while addressing youths at a program organized for the first time women voters on campaign of referendum and election 2026. College principal Professor Abdullah Al-Mutin presided over the program. Bangladesh Jamaat Islami Amir Dr. Shafiq Rahman today visited injured party leaders and activists at a hospital in Mirpur following an attack on them. Speaking to reporters, Dr. Shafiq Rahman said Jamaat leaders and activists were subjected to a painful attack and confined by the assailants. He added that the injured were later rescued with the assistance of law enforcement agencies and taken to hospital for treatment, calling for those involved in the attack to be brought to justice. Shafiq Rahman said Jamaat Islami would extend all possible cooperation to ensure that the upcoming election is held in a free and fair manner. Senior leaders of Jamaat Islami were present at the time. Testimony began today in the war crimes case over enforced disappearance and torture at the TFI cell during the rule of the fallen Awami League against 17 individuals, including Sheikh Hasina and 11 former and current military officers. The first witness in this case is Arman, a victim of enforced disappearance. The testimony commenced at Tribunal 1 led by Justice Ghulam Murtuja Majumdar. Earlier, Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam presented the opening statement for the case. Meanwhile, Tribunal 1 has ordered the formal start of trial in the case against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's son Shajib Wajid Joy and former ICT Minister Zunaid Ahmed Palak over 3 specific charges, including giving orders to shut down the internet and killings during the July uprising. The opening statement and testimony in this case will begin on February 18. On the other hand, at Tribunal 2, testimony took place in the case against Jashud President Hassanul Haqinu over 8 specific charges, including the killing of 6 people in Kushtia during the July uprising. Today, the tribunal heard the testimony of the case's 10th witnesses, Abdullah Al-Mamun. Additionally, at this tribunal, the prosecution began presenting arguments in the case of the killing of the first martyr of the July uprising, Rangpur student Abu Saeed. Meanwhile, prosecutor Ghazi Monwar Hussain Tamim stated that the prosecution has received an application for surrender from Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul has said the e-bail bond management system is a landmark step in the digital transformation of the country's judiciary. The law advisor made the remarks while virtually launching the e-bail bond system in 8 additional districts from his Secretariat office today. The law advisor said the system will significantly improve transparency, accountability and efficiency in the bail process. The system has been introduced in Manikganj, Bandurban, Meherpur, Jaipurhat, Maulavi Bazar, Panchagor, Chalukati and Sherpur today with a view to reducing long-standing delays, eliminating bureaucratic hurdles and strengthening transparency in the bail process. Dr. Asif Nazrul said that prior to the introduction of the digital system, accused persons often had to go through multiple manual procedures even after bail was granted, causing unnecessary delays, additional financial burden and severe mental distress for them and their families. In many cases, individuals remained in jail for several days or even weeks despite having bail. There was little transparency or accountability and it was difficult to identify where delays occurred, he said. Under the new system, he said, once a judge digitally signs a bail order, the bail bond is automatically and instantly will be transmitted to the jail authorities. As a result, detainees are now being released within a few hours or at best within a day. The system records who signs what and when, ensuring full transparency and strong accountability, he said. The e-bail bond system was first launched in Narayanganj on October 15 in 2025 and has been operating successfully since then, he added. The advisor added that the initiative has reduced unnecessary time loss, financial cost and mental suffering for litigants, cut travel expenses for accused persons and their families and helped the government save prison management cost. Moving on to international news.